This is Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Subscribe for new content notifications. Now, here's Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow me on Twitter at BackupBradley above at the top of the screen and everything that we're talking about here today. So there's been an answer to the amended complaint for the Ripple class action lawsuit. This is pretty interesting. I have some points that I want to touch in this that I think are just really amazing for understanding the clarity of how they're defending themselves in this class action, and more importantly, how Ripple sees themselves and XRP. And I think that is the bigger point in all of this. And it really, really correlates and coincides with everything that's happening outside of this class action lawsuit as well. So let's go ahead and get into this. But first, I have to thank Rob Licker for posting this. I got this from Rob. Rob, I hope you're doing well today, buddy. And I also want to say that, let's look at these prices really quickly before we go, because Bitcoin is still flirting with 13,000 at 12,954 and 32 cents, still holding strong. So is Ethereum, $407.17. XRP is 25 cents. Let's drill down on the numbers this morning. 0.2526 for XRP. We are looking at a market cap of 1.4 billion plus. With the 24-hour volume is 1.1 billion plus, and we're down about 1% this morning. The total circulating supply is 45,248 million plus right there. For anybody that is interested, there's lots of links and descriptions in the description, or links for things you may want or need in the description box and the comment sections, as well as a very, very affordable crypto course if you'd like to take that or know somebody who would like to take it as well. So let's go ahead and get started this morning here. When we go down this, I have a couple points, and believe me, the whole thing is great. And just so you know, it's a line by line, addressing each claim that was made against Ripple. Breathe a big sigh of relief. We're not going to go through every single line because I've already done it, but I'm going to grab what stuck out to me, and we're going to start there. So let's go to 25 here. It's number 25. So let me scroll down where they break down line by line whether they agree or disagree or argue with that point that's being made here. So starting at 25, one of the biggest points to get out of this answering of the class action here, defendants admit, the defendant being Ripple, right, admit that in May 2015, Ripple and XRP2 entered into a settlement with the Department of Justice and FinCEN, which states that XRP is a convertible currency. As a result of the settlement, Ripple and XRP2 stipulated to pay $700,000 for certain alleged violations of the Bank Secrecy Act. Defendants admit that, pursuant to the settlement, Ripple and XRP2 agreed to undertake certain remedial measures. Defendants otherwise deny the allegations in the paragraph 25, because they go through line by line, paragraph by paragraph. So that's how it reads when you read these things. But let's quickly go to right here. I just had this up in the video from yesterday, and I made that point, and now they're making that point. Understand this. This is not to put a flag on the moon. This is so we understand. This is verifying to me that what we're seeing, what we follow, what we cover and have conversations about on this channel with one another is spot on, because it matters so much to Ripple, and it is so valid to them that it is a point they're using to answer in a class action lawsuit. MSB, Money Service Business, talking about several requirements of the Bank Secrecy Act by acting as a money services business and selling its virtual currency known as XRP. It's the exact line that they cite right here. Here you go. It's unbelievable, because it says it throughout this document, and it is convertible. And I'm not going to dig and find it, but you get the idea. They worked out a deal with the Department of Justice and FinCEN. And here's the $700,000 fine here where I'm putting my cursor, right? They're saying it to you. This is a done deal. We did this already, right? It's unbelievable, man. We've gone this long, and the argument for Ripple still stands and bases off of this ruling that was made in 2015, which tells me it's being held back for a reason, because this has been the answer all along. Ripple isn't a security. It's not even a commodity. Ripple sees XRP as a currency. And the argument is made right here in front of your face. Well, that may shake out to be a commodity instead, but the reality is I see it as a currency, which means nothing to the world. But I can tell you that the fact that the Department of Justice and FinCEN see it as a currency, and Ripple feels so strongly about that decision that they use it as their defense and their protection as they move through this class action. Let's keep going. Very, very big. Okay, going down to 43. I'm skipping over some great stuff, but however, I will provide this PDF in the comment section. Okay, so 43 talks about escrow. Defendant admits that Ripple holds a certain amount of XRP, the vast majority of which is in escrow. Defendants otherwise deny the allegations in paragraph 43. Defendants deny the allegations in paragraph 44. So they talk there and recognize that, yes, they hold a certain amount themselves as Ripple company of XRP, but the rest is locked up in escrow. Now, let's keep going, because we also move down to this next section here where it talks about, let me find it here, and it'll be about the $55 billion in escrow again. Let me just scoot through and find this here. XRP. It's such a long document. Just give me a second here, guys. We'll find it here. Okay. We're getting there. All right, let's see. Okay, here we go. So, defendants announced and admit that in 2017, Ripple announced that it would place $55 billion $55 billion XRP into a series of escrows on the ledger. After implementation, each month the XRP ledger releases a total of 1 billion XRP to Ripple to use or not use as it chooses, with any unused XRP being returned to escrow. Defendants otherwise deny the allegations in paragraph 90, which was challenging a much different argument, right? So I think we all understand this and know this. It's nice to, hear them clarify that in a legal argument, right? Because I think there's some people that don't believe that that's actually accurate. My point here going forward is, Ripple has said, Brad Garlinghouse has said at some point they do intend to IPO. Okay, great. I understand that the escrow is locked into a cryptographically auto-release account contracts. I get that. And that's wonderful. And I think it was a smart move on Ripple to do that. But if Ripple truly is money, and we understand that the push here is to get the entire world, because listen, money isn't money unless everyone agrees that it's money. My point has always been that at some point when the world does collectively agree, hey, this stuff is money, let's use it. And I think we're getting very close to that point, by the way. Will Ripple be allowed to remain the steward, the receiver of that escrow release month to month to month for the remainder of those 55 months? Or will we see more of an international third party created, like Miguel Villas had said back in 2017 in an interview, maybe to be a third party or something of that nature? I'm thinking, is it a body created off of the G20? Is it the G20, the G7? right? Is there some international consortium that is created to eventually receive the XRP? Or will it remain that it releases and this thing goes bonker nuts when the world starts using it, and Ripple still gets to receive the escrow for the rest of the remainder of the 55 months and thereafter for whatever's not used? Because obviously they exercise really, really good what I call monetary policy, and making sure that they're very conscientious about not letting too much out each month. They let out just what they feel needs to be needed or used, and then they put the rest in a new contract on the back of that 55 months to go again. And if Ripple does get to remain the steward and the receiver and the overseer of the release of each escrow every month, and gets to decide who gets to use that or not, or if it goes to, like Mickey B and I have talked about on this show, to a more of a Susan Athey style blind auction where the participants in the network get to bid on it in a blind auction, and the winner is the second highest bidder every time. But no one knows who's the second highest bidder, right? So this gets pretty interesting to see how this will go, because I believe if Ripple truly is going to be able to remain going forward after XRP were to, let's say, get that currency designation, you tell me, wouldn't Ripple have to become like a central bank of sorts? Think about it. You're going to let a private American company at this point receive something that could be $1,000 a token that's now 25 cents? Because of the utility and liquidity that the large players around the world, make no mistake about it, understand exactly what value they can bring to this asset. It's a pretty damn good question, I feel. All right, let's keep moving here because I want to move through this. And then here we have 100, line 100 here, I believe it is. Yes, defendants admit that after the implementation, the escrow $1 billion become available to Ripple. 1 billion XRP became and will become available to Ripple for 55 months, and any of the 1 billion XRP that remains unused at the end of the month is returned to escrow. So that's exactly my point. Ripple is the receiver of that release of that escrow and the overseer of who gets what, how much, and what goes on the back end. Okay, and then there's another line here I want to get at 127. And that is, let's see. Oh, yes. Okay. So this talks about the SEC. Okay. And the decisions they had made, the recommendations they had made at the time. And obviously the class action really says that, you know, I bought a security and you owe me money because what you sold me was a security directly. And certainly Ripple did not do that, nor did Brad Garlinghouse. So it's obviously what I consider to be a frivolous lawsuit. But however, looking past that for a moment here, it does reference some guidelines and recommendations from the SEC. And this is how Ripple sees them and how they portray it legally here in their defense. To the extent 127 contains factual allegations, otherwise requires a response, defendant states that the SEC framework is not a rule, regulation, or statement of the commission and is not binding on the commission or otherwise. Listen, the framework is not the law and did not modify or replace any existing laws. Defendants otherwise deny allegations. It says here, 128 is a legal argument that requires no response. To the extent that 128 contains factual allegations or otherwise requires response, defendants state that the SEC framework is not a rule, regulation, or a statement of the commission and is not binding on the commission or otherwise. The framework is not the law and did not modify or replace any existing laws. Defendants otherwise deny the allegations. So basically they're saying whatever existed from the SEC at the time is not binding, and they're laying it down. Now, here since then, we have seen the SEC even issue no action letters against security tokens. So even if they were to find in this ruling that SEC could say, oh, no, we feel it is a security. You know, it's like, well, no, it isn't, because we got the 2015 ruling from the Department of Justice and FinCEN that says it's a currency. I'm telling you right now, that is going to be the backbone binding precedent right there set for this ruling on this case. And for me, and obviously the ruling of the case is whether or not they were sold a security or not whether actually the asset is a security or not. However, I do believe they could touch on that in the remarks and the findings of the case. So, all right. So with that being said, let me keep this moving, because I do want to scroll down here just at the very end. And I want to show you, as of recent, while all of this is happening, the Federal Reserve and the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, FinCEN, have just made a proposal, okay, to reduce the amount of transfers that need to be transparent and reported from $3,000 to $250 for any transfers that go outside the U.S. Now, that means, well, $3,000 is a little too high of a number. Let's make sure we lower that to, say, $250. And you know why they want to do that? Because the proposal would also widen the agency's definition of money to explicitly include cryptocurrencies. This lawsuit is lining up, and the defense of this lawsuit is lining up with the idea and motion, in step, mind you, with the Federal Reserve and FinCEN both asking to a proposal to expand the definition of money to include cryptocurrencies. Ladies and gentlemen, from where I sit, case closed. Hit the like and subscribe. Make sure you leave a comment below, and make sure you share with somebody you know. Don't forget to check out the description box in the comment sections for anything you may want or need. I'll catch all of you on the next one.